Alright, sorry for the inconvenient cause. So we move to the tools used for descriptive cataloging, which is AACR 2nd 2002. It was first published in 1967 and prepared by American Library Association, Library of Congress, British Library Association and Canadian Library Association. So it is the most famous and all-embracing cataloging codes, give general specific rules and guidelines for all information items in cataloging work. So tools for AACR, okay, divided into two sections. There are two sections or two parts in the AACR. Section 1, which is description, chapter 1 until 12, and section 2, okay, chapter 21 to 26. So AACR section 1, we look at on the description. There are 8 areas that you should kata apa, hafal. Okay, the section 1 in AACR consists of rules for physical description form for every materials in library. So there are 12 chapters that describing the physical description, okay, organized according to the materials supposedly available in the library. This is chapter 1 until chapter 13. Okay, let's say you want to catalog the book, so you have to refer the chapter 2. You want to do catalog for sounds recording, you have to refer the chapter 6. That's what its mean. Okay, for the section 2, which is heading, uniform title and references, right, discuss through the thoroughly to the choice of access point, the form of names including the uniform titles and references. So choice of access point, which is chapter 21, discuss who or whom should be the main entry, and the rest of co-author or share responsibility will be automatically in added entry. Let's say there are 3 authors and 1 editor. So first author will be the main entry, second and third author will be the added entry, and also the editor will be at the added entry. Okay, so chapter 22, 23, 24 and 25 discuss about the form of name should be entered. These 4 chapters thoroughly discuss how the form of name, for example, a person name, okay, corporate bodies, the name of countries, the court of law, and almost etc. There are rules that should be followed. So we can just refer to this chapter to make sure okay, we are using the right rules, okay, for that name. For example, let's say for Chinese name, Tan Siok Peng. So Tan is a surname. So surname you should comma after the surname, Tan, comma Siok Peng. Okay, that is how to transform that many names into the subject headings lah. To the headings lah. Okay. And then chapter 26 is about how to create reference and see also according to the needs in the library. This is the chapter for the section 2, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 and 26. Okay. So tools for subject cataloging, there are 2 tools available, okay, but library have to choose one, either one, okay, either you want to use LCSH or SLSH. So LCSH, right, it comprises a thesaurus of subject heading maintained by US Library of Congress for use in bibliographic records. Okay, so LCSH apply to every item within a library collection and facilitate a user's access to items in the catalog that pertain to similar subject matter. So purpose of LCSH is providing subject access point to the bibliographic records contained in the Library of Congress catalog. So LCSH is now available in 3 formats, which is print format, machine readable format, also available on CD-ROM or CD-MAT subject, and also microfiche. So SLSH was developed by Mini Seals in 1923. So since the first edition, the sales list has served the unique needs of small and medium-sized library. So SLSH suggested headings appropriate for using in their catalogs and providing patterns and instruction for adding new headings as they are required. So the successive editors of SLSH has faced need to accommodate change while maintaining a sound continuity. So the new and revised heading in each edition reflect developments in the material catalog, in the use of the English language, and in cataloging theory and practice. So the series list of subject heading, popularly called the series list, is known as tools for assigning standardized subject heading to all types of document in a general small library having up to 20,000 titles in all subjects. So it's like a thesaurus, like database, delivering a call list of headings together with pattern and example to guide the cataloger in creating further headings as needed. So the aim is always to make library collections as easily available as possible to the library user. So enough with the subject heading. Now we move to the classification. There are two famous classification. Okay, so library have to choose either one, right? Either LCC, Library of Congress classification, or DDC, Dewey Decimal classification. They also have another classification, which is Universal Decimal Classification, Column Classification, Bibliographic Classification System, Subject Classification System, Expensive Classification System, and National Library of Medicine Classification. So for LCC, alright, was established under responsible of J.C.M. Hanson and Charles Mortel in 1987. For notation, it was decided at the outset to use a 3-element patterns, okay, which is single capital letters for main class and 2 capital letters for subclass. Arabic integral from 1 to 999 and cut number for individual work. No, you can find this at the academic library, normally at academic library, this one. So no main class for I, O, W, X, or Y. So this later do appear as a second or third symbol in the various LCC subclass. Then is DDC. This one you can see at the public library. Normally at public library they use DDC, Dewey Decimal Classification System. It's the most widely used method for classifying books in the library. So this system is a general knowledge organization tools that is continuously revised to keep pace with knowledge. It is named after Melvin Dewey, an American librarian who developed it in 1876. So this system is a numerical system for the arrangement of subject of non-fiction book, and it classifies book by dividing them into 10 subject groups that are called categories. So each category is represented by figure beginning with 000 and going on to 999. In other words, it is a system of number used to mark and arrange mostly non-fiction book. This one is an example. Normally you can see this at the public library. They choose to use 000 until 999. So they classify based on this subject. Okay. So this one you can just do some revision by using this question. Okay, this one. And then we move to the tools for description and arrangement in archive. Alright, so for archive, for description, they use International Standard Archive Description, ISAD. Alright. G. It was developed by a committee of the International Council on Archive, ICA. So the committee based its work where possible on existing national standard for archival description. So the first edition came out in 1996 and it was revised in 2000. ISADG provides a guideline for creating description of archival materials. Sorry, establishing a model based on the principle of respect response within a multi-level description. So what is respect response? I want you to discuss it in our groups. What is respect response? Alright, so tools for corporate bodies, person or families. Alright, this is International Standard Archival Authority records for corporate bodies, person and families. Each second edition was adopted by the committee in 2003. So, an International Standard Archival Authority Record, ISAAR, is a form of authority records, control records standardized by the Committee of Descriptive Standard of the International Council on Archive. So, this is another example of standard used in archive according to the countries. Okay, APPM, standard for developing a catalogue of archival material, principally at the collection level, with consistent description and access point that can be integrate into bibliographic catalogue constructed using Anglo-American cataloging rules. And also APPM was compiled by Stephen L. Hansen. It was first published by the Library of Congress in 1983 and a second revised edition was published by the Society of American Archivists in 1989. While for DACS was officially approved by the Society of American Archivists as an SAA standard in March 2004. So DACS is an output neutral set of rules for describing archive, personal papers and manuscript collection and can be applied in all material type. It is in US implementation of international standard example ISADG and ISAAR CVF for the description of archival material and their creators. So DAAC as replaced with archive, personal papers and manuscript APPM. For British and Canada, they use MET and also RED. This one you can read by your own. And then tools for the museum is a description of the information categories that can be used when developing records about the object in museum collections. So the guideline can be adopted by an individual museum, national documentation organization, or system developer as the basis for a working museum documentation system. So the international guideline for museum object information, the CIDOC, okay, information categories was developed by ICOM, International Council of Museums, in conjunction with UNESCO. So that's all. You give me your time, the most thoughtful gift of all. Thank you so much. We finish this topic, so see you later. Bye.